welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name's Dan. I'm joined with my co-hosts, Drew Martin, and my big brother, Joel Chandra. And if you have to guess which one's my brother and my brother from another mother, I think you'll guess correctly. I'm a minister in downtown Toronto. Drew is a minister in Bethel, Selkirk. There's many Bethels around the world, but only one, I think, Bethel, Selkirk. Bethel, Selkirk, Manitoba. And Drew's church is pretty cool, actually. They actually have a headstone with his name on it already in the front of the church. It's a pretty big deal. It's probably like my yearly salary worth or more, that thing. It's a beauty. How are you guys doing?
Good. I honestly thought you were gonna say I'm an only child after that introduction. Why?
You were hoping he was going to say he's an only child.
You've been wishing that your whole life.
Uh,
As he's referred to me as, I've grown up thinking I was adopted for a long time. So that's what my big brother and sister told me. So
love you.
they do. They do. So what's new, boys? You had a good week?
Yeah, there's some good games this weekend.
Oh,
Yes, there were.
They were
Okay.
actually fun to. They were fun to watch, even though my team wasn't in the playoffs.
I'll give you guys some flowers here. You guys did pretty good with the predictions for our
Better than you did.
our super wild card weekend. Okay, Drew was number one. He went
Yeah.
6-0. Did you go 6-0?
6-0.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Good comment.
Coach, I think you went 5-1.
You got 5-1, yeah.
You went 5. I believe I went 5-1 as well. So
And he only picked Tampa Bay to be different than us.
and no, because I knew I was
didn't know.
intelligent. I
No.
knew that old
You
Tampa
hoped.
Tom.
Wished and a prayer is what happened.
I don't even think it didn't matter what that I did, because that Tampa didn't show up, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, in a few moments. I think Tom Brady's booked his one-way ticket to Thailand, like Cliff Kingsbury there. But before we get into any more sports talk, why don't we do some quick hitter news?
Uh-oh.
You guys ready? Here we go. You just disappeared.
Oh man.
There we go.
Not a jersey.
First things first, coach is trying to show off this. Manchester United wins the derby 2-1 over Manchester City Soccer.
Oh, I didn't know what sport that was. Vegas' Robin Leonard files for bankruptcy with $50 million in debts.
Aaron Rodgers mulling future with Packers or elsewhere for the upcoming season. I wonder if he's got a one-way ticket to Thailand as well.
Sean Payton has interviewed with several NFL teams. I'm sure everyone wants that offensive genius as their head coach.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signs $14.5 million one-year deal to set first baseman arbitration record. And with that, we're going to go into commercial that's near and dear to my heart. Urban Hope is an Urban Hope mentorship program that I get to run in downtown Toronto. Basically, our format is kids helping kids. We teach them discipleship lessons. We give them mentorship skills. And we see our older kids kind of pour into the community that they've grown up into. And we teach them all biblical principles that Jesus is king. I want to make sure that's clear for some people in the room, so that they know that I'm not wishy-washy. And no, I like that. I really do. And also we do a lot of cool things as well. We have a place that's safe for kids and youth to go and hang out in. And we're even starting a basketball program for some of the kids that cannot be able to afford the next level. And we have the coach, big coach right here, down below. I guess this way. No, this way. And he's actually leading our basketball program. He's going to be leading these kids with lessons on and off the court, as he usually does, and I know he's going to make them work hard, and they're going to succeed, and we believe in that, and that's why we're doing this basketball program. So with that being said, that's kind of a bit of our heartbeat, as well as what we do in our ministries and in our life, and part of this show. So let's get it going.
Awesome. All right, rundown for today. We're gonna go through all the games for the weekend, and we have a fun convo about how do you find your purpose in the second half of the show. So, with that being said, let's start off. First game: Seattle, San Francisco. 41-23 was the final score.
You go first. It's your team.
Niners. Honestly, I did not expect him to play that well. Granted, he has a ton of weapons, but I expected, first game jitters. He looked comfortable. And I mean, having CMC, having Debo, having threats on the field make it easier for you because you have a lot of options to bail you out if things go wrong. But I don't know, Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, that's going to be a tough decision moving into next year, I think, for the Niners.
My takeaway from the game was I really thought the 49ers came out flat, actually. They were losing going in the second half. Brock Purdy didn't look comfortable at the start, but I think he came around in the second half. My takeaway though is that Geno Smith, I think he's earned himself a starting quarterback position next year, whether that's in Seattle or somewhere else. Seattle owns, I think, the number 5 or number 6 pick thanks
They're
to
the fifth.
Denver.
Yeah.
So they might be looking at a franchise quarterback there. There's not a lot of teams that need a quarterback picking high.
Yeah.
So yeah, so whether they go a different direction, I think Geno Smith has proved that he can play with the big boys.
What a redemption story there, hey?
And
Yeah.
and maybe with what San Francisco is doing, they obviously don't need a great quarterback to dominate, right? So maybe Seattle picks up another star player in the with the 5th pick there, and they could be really deadly. They're young, they're good all over. Their defense is incredible. So that team's going to be someone to watch, some team to watch next year. But the 49ers, they're stacked. Just wow. And Brock Purdy's looking like a veteran, which is
Yeah. I don't think there's a more complete team in the playoffs than San Francisco.
yeah.
Which, to be honest, like even like after Trey got hurt, was like, what's going to happen with this team? This team has had such an up and down year, but they're starting to peak at the right time, which is great.
Well, and they talked about it a lot during the broadcast, but the faith that John Lynch showed in the team by going out and getting CMC, I think
Yeah,
they still had a losing record when they went out and traded for CMC, and they went on this big, what is it, 10-game winning streak now?
I think there was 11 going into this playoffs.
Yeah, so
So
like losing record, go out and get one of the best players in the league, trade away what would have seemed like precious draft picks if you think you're going to be a losing record team, right? And saying, no, we're going to go for it. So,
absolutely, absolutely. So not much to talk about that game. My favorite game of Saturday actually was the Chargers Jags.
oh yeah.
Why don't you give us a start here, Drew?
Well, it was about to be my least favorite game. Trevor Lawrence throwing, what was it, 4 picks in the first half. Uh, I almost turned it off, but when he threw that touchdown to end the first half to Evan Ingram there, going into the half 27-7 looks bad, but you're only down 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Justin Herbert, I don't know, he did not show up for most of the game. Like, because you think about it, those interceptions are really what gave the Chargers any points at all. I don't think the Chargers actually moved the ball outside of giving it to Eckler in the first half at all. And Trevor Lawrence got rid of those first playoff game jitters, and man, he has weapons like Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Etienne, and again, like I said last pot, like getting Calvin Ridley next year, like that team's going to be legit, and they're always legit on the defensive side.
yeah, I think the bigger question is okay, is there more blame to be put on Justin Herbert or Brandon Staley or the Chargers management? They've already fired their offensive coordinator, and so I'm wondering what they're going to do. Are they going to keep run with Staley, or is Justin Herbert deserving of all the flowers that he's gotten already, or should we start calling him? So I heard someone call him Justin Sherbert, and I like that one. And
I don't think it's on Justin Herbert. I think you have a defensive minded head coach working with a super talented, like, I think he's got the talent of Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like, I think that's the category that he's in. I think if they go out and try and get Sean Payton to work with Justin Herbert, I think that's a match made in heaven right there.
Ooh.
Especially because I think a lot of the lower tier teams aren't going to try for Sean Payton anymore because the price for him is a first round draft pick, and I don't think they're going to want to willing to give that
Because
up.
San Diego doesn't need, like, they've got all the weapons in the world on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the blame has to be on Joey Bosa.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh. Go
there
on.
was two 15-yard penalties that he took. Granted, one of them the ref sort of chased after him, and like I don't think the ref should do that, like
Mm-hmm.
go looking for a penalty. But still, this is he'd been picked on all game, couple questionable roughing the passer, and yeah, but I think you need to keep your emotions in check when you're in a playoff game. Joey Bosa did not. Uh, I know I could feel his frustration, but you really, when your team's in a tight playoff match, you can't be giving up 15-yard penalties.
I just will add in though. Remember, Brandon Staley played all of his starters week before Mike Williams gets hurt. Obviously, he was probably their number one receiver. I know he's kind of like 1A, 1B with Keenan Allen, but he's younger and kind of ascending. Gets hurt in a meaningless game, and on top of that, they lost that game that they started their players. Like, I don't really understand that, and
Well, and it was just the mind. It sort of reminded me of the Falcons in the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
right,
Like they just went away from the running game.
yeah.
I don't remember Eckler getting the ball in the second half. It's like you're up, run the clock, and they just kept trying to throw it. Uh, yeah, it
And
didn't make
Eckler is
sense to me.
considered a stud, right? Like
Oh, for sure.
he's and so
Like
it's
if you're not going to run it, do quick screens, get it in his hands.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
You gotta find your playmakers, right?
yeah,
yeah.
It seems like almost like Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson for a bit there, where the Seahawks offense was always felt like reined in because of how he coached and called the game. So firing the offensive coordinator, that's just an easy scapegoat. I think coming up this year will really make or break Staley's if he's staying in the team or not. And I agree with Drew. I think Justin Herbert has done quite a bit to solidify his status. You know,
but
he
what
just
has he done? What has he done?
he's put up numbers, bro. He's put up numbers. It's not easy to put up numbers. You still got to
Yeah.
do it, right?
But is this like a coming out party for Trevor Lawrence though? Like,
Yeah,
is he a legit star now?
yeah,
I I think he's the guy who we thought he was going to be,
Yeah.
and
Well, and I think it has a lot to do with coaching. Like Doug Peterson
oh
comes
yeah,
in there and he looks night and day from what
mm-hmm.
we saw last year.
Big time. Yeah, that whole team does though. That whole team does,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
yeah,
So that was
on the run defense, the Jags run defense is like pretty incredible at the same time. So maybe that's part of the reason why they went away from it. But
you still got to do clock management, right?
Yeah, you got to keep the clock. We saw, uh, moving on to the next game, some of the worst clock management I've seen.
Why
Like
why'd you start us off there? Bills Dolphins.
Bills Dolphins. Okay, I thought this game was going to be a blowout, and it was for a while. And then all of a sudden, the Dolphins, their defense is really good and got them back in the game. And but down the stretch, like the Dolphins just started burning timeouts like they were nothing, like they're not valuable at the end of the game. And then 4th and 1, apparently there was some confusion as to whether they got the first down or not, so the wrong play got called, and they take a delay a game call, which makes it 4th and 6 instead
brutal.
of 4th and 1. Uh, just unbelievable. Like Mike McDaniel coached such a good game for like 55 minutes. And
Yeah.
like to keep them that close with a third or fourth string quarterback
Yeah,
was really impressive and didn't really rely on studs. Like
yeah,
I didn't I didn't really see Waddle and Hill taking over the way we normally do. It was a lot of dink and dunk. Jeff Wilson Jr., who was like a third string running back on San Francisco, was all of a sudden a star. Um, yeah, really impressive, but you gotta get those plays in. You gotta know, like that ball was clearly short. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
watching it live, I'm like, yeah, that like you're clearly short. There's no way there should have been confusion about it being a first down. The ref had his fist up in the air, 4th down. Get that QB sneak in, and who knows?
Exactly.
Who knows what happens after that? But you can't make it a 4th and 6, have to throw.
I
And yeah,
I will say some luck definitely played in the whole thing. That the two huge drops from the Bills receivers there. The one by the 50-yarder by, I think it was what's the second best?
Davis, Gabe
Yeah,
Davis.
Gabe Davis. Um, and then the one in the end zone with I think it was Knox, right? So
Yeah.
those are
How
two
good is it to
plays.
see Cole Beasley out there though,
Oh my
catching
goodness,
touchdowns?
I was loving it. I was loving Tony Romo talking about Cole Beasley and oh man, just brought back good memories for sure. But he looked great too. Wow,
Yeah.
man, his route running is still in peak form, peak form. So
It
yeah,
was it was a bit of a surprise game overall. I thought the Bills would just dominate, but you got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good, right? So
This
next round,
Dolphins team though, if they get a quarterback,
oh,
they they're they're by far a
best team.
contender up there. Yeah.
do you think they are with Tua?
No.
Hmm. Yeah,
No,
that's the tough part. So what do you
yeah,
do? What do they do with Tua? Right? Like what do they do?
you could find a bridge quarterback in the meantime, have him prep.
Just get
Maybe
rid
an
of
Aaron
Tua.
Rodgers, you play 2 years.
Or there might be a guy that might be up for grabs up in Baltimore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks that way. Looks that way.
so,
Look,
uh,
Can you imagine that?
that'd be crazy. That would just be crazy. Do, okay, I'll ask this question after. Giants Vikings. Giants Vikings.
This was the separator right here.
This
yeah,
was the separator.
yeah.
Um,
Daniel Jones is legit.
Okay, well. He's good. He's all right. He's all right. Look, it goes
He
back to
is
coaching.
legit. Give him a contract.
Yeah, it goes back to coaching for sure. Like look how much better he is. He's a total. What's the opposite of a shell of yourself? I guess it's good to be a shell of yourself from last year for Daniel
yeah,
Jones, and he looked great. He looked great. The first quarterback to throw for over 300 and rush for over 75 and win. So, give him flowers. Danny Dimes.
And Saquon is Saquon, man.
Yeah,
Like
Saquon's that guy.
they could make some real noise. I think in the next
No, they
round.
can't. No, they can't.
They have some momentum going. They have some momentum going.
No,
I
they
think it's
can't.
the right matchup for them though.
Yeah,
They're familiar with each other.
they've played them
Yeah,
twice already. That's right. That's like
yeah.
that.
It's the NFC East. They beat up each other for sure. But it's over. Come on. Just stop it.
It's going to be a close game.
Maybe.
Well, if you can't make extra point kicks, like
No, the Giants are playing the Eagles.
oh, they're playing the Eagles.
Yeah,
I
Eagles,
thought
yeah,
they were
playing
playing
the
Cowboys.
Eagles.
but
So
I think it's gonna be a tighter game. It's gonna
yeah,
be a tighter game for sure. I feel good. Honestly, the Giants have had some woeful years, so it's nice to see them come through. But
no,
could be
it's
some
not.
big. Hmm?
No, it's not. They won 2 Super Bowls.
No one cares about your Cowboys, okay? No one cares.
I didn't say
Uh,
anything about the Cowboys.
no one cares. Uh,
Ravens, Bengals.
Let's
yeah,
go.
they're in Bengals. So here's my question: Do you think Lamar sits out on purpose?
I think if he had a contract, he would have played.
Oh
Yeah. Right? And I don't want to say that
no,
because I think he's a bad guy. He's a smart guy. I'm also very skeptical, as we've talked about in our group chat here. But you gotta
J.K.
wonder.
J.K. Dobbins put out an Instagram video saying he's been watching Lamar limp around and walk around and trying his best to get himself right, and but you don't see that on in the news or the media.
This is football.
So
Everyone's limping around.
and he did the fact that he didn't go to the game kind of gives me some question marks.
Yeah.
Thought
This
that's
is why
weird.
you have to hire an agent to
Ooh.
take care of your business.
Yeah.
Feelings are going to get hurt when you're sitting in the room negotiating your deal. And I think
Or
that's
if
what?
they signed him, maybe they win that game, right?
That's
No, I think they were in the same position they would have been. Like Huntley played a good game. If he crosses the plane on that QB sneak on the goal line, do you think they win?
If Lamar was playing, he would have got a touchdown on it or something, right? Like it wouldn't have been a 99-yard fumble return or whatever it's called.
Huntley and Lamar play very similar. like Lamar's not a good passer like, by any means.
We just
I could throw touchdowns to Mark Andrews. He's a beast. Like, and the legs are the separator for both of them.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, but Lamar is still for sure a few levels out of Tyler Huntley's league. I don't know if he's 250 million out, but
Yeah, I still don't think they win the game.
Hmm.
I I think the Bengals played down,
yeah, big time.
and in a lot of respects, they might have been more geared up to play if Lamar was playing.
True, true, true.
that's yeah.
But
Gotta
that's
take that for granted
yeah,
a little bit, right?
still
Because Joe Burrow and the weapons he has is unfair.
it is.
Like Tyler Boyd would be a number one on 90% of the teams in the league, and he's number three on that
Yeah.
depth chart.
It's crazy.
That's a fun team to watch. All right. Now for the worst game of the entire weekend.
Come on,
Cowboys Bucks.
Oh, it was so
we
boring.
them boys. Come on.
So boring.
No one expected
Ezekiel-
this though.
Zeke sucks.
No, come on. They're the. Just give Dak some flowers for once, all right? Like he's taken so much garbage.
Well, I said if Dak
look
doesn't turn the
good.
ball over, they're gonna win.
yes, and
Yeah.
and like it's all about their front line on defense. Like how exciting is
Micah
this gonna
Parsons
be?
is a beast.
Like it's just
Micah
incredible.
Micah Parsons can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. They're throwing double teams at him and the speed and strength. It's going to be so fun to see how the 49ers react to this front line. This pressure that Purdy will never have seen yet. It's going to be a very interesting game, I think. So,
I don't think there's gonna be many points scored in this game.
yeah, potentially.
Is this the end of Brady?
I think he's too prideful to go out like this.
Agreed. I put it on our Instagram poll and they definitely said he's joining another team, but not going back to the Bucks.
Fair. I wouldn't go back to the Bucks either. Let's go before we go to our next commercial. Jags Chiefs. How excited are you for this game on a scale of 1 to 10? And who's your winner?
This is the divisional round choices. Are you guys ready? We're keeping track of this all year long, all playoffs long. Let's go.
So who are you picking? And how
I'm-
excited are you for this
I'm
game?
going Chiefs. Chiefs.
Chiefs.
And,
Well, yeah, Chiefs.
hold on. Let me. You go first here, Drew. You go first.
Yeah, the Chiefs will win. Yeah, I don't know how excited I am about the game because yeah, I think the Jags coming back the way they did, the Chiefs will be prepared because
Fair.
they saw what they can do. I think the Chiefs go up early.
They're 8.5 favorites. Just saying, Chiefs.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of points. I think it's probably 6 would be my number.
Yeah, I'm there too. Chiefs win. Jags cover.
I think the reason why I asked about the exciting piece, I'm hoping this game is just a shoot 'em up kind of game, and it just goes crazy. I would be really happy for that. But yeah, I think the Chiefs do win. The Jags will put up a fight. I think my estimation is kind of like what happened last week. Soft first half, they come back to play better in the second half, but they're not catching up for sure. Let's go sticking with Bengals Bills.
This is the game of the week, I think.
Yeah.
right now.
Okay.
Bengals Bills, like
Bills are
I think
4.5 favorite.
I think it's Bengals are gonna win.
Ooh.
I think yeah, the Bills playing a close game like against Miami like that, like against Skylar Thompson. Joe
Beng-
Burrow is not Skylar Thompson.
Bengals played
And
a
the-
close game against the Baltimore Ravens.
I know, but Baltimore like can run the ball. Right?
And their defense is better.
Yeah.
But Miami's, I don't know, it's tough, man. That's tough. It's okay. You got Bengals
I think
win.
Bengals by 3.
Bengals by 3. Dan?
Oh my goodness, I'm not mentally prepared for this. I will also go Bengals. And yeah, they cover. So, but I'll say by 3 as well.
I'm gonna go with the Bills. Stick to my boy Allen, a fantasy football guy who only scored points for me this year.
Brought you to that consolation bracket.
consolation side. The rest of the team just didn't show up. But
Well, I think that game will come down to an Evan McPherson field goal. Like
Who's also
he
looked shaky, surprisingly.
yeah, but remember last year in the playoffs,
So
Yeah.
clutch.
so clutch.
I think it's gonna be the game of the week. I think you're right. Let's go Giants Eagles.
Honestly, all this divisional round, all these games are good, right? All these games are going to be good.
What's
Maybe
the
not this
line
one.
what's the line on this one?
We got 7.5 favor
Oh.
for the Eagles. That's a big number
Oh.
too.
Yeah. Eagles win, Giants cover.
Eagles win, Giants cover.
I think it's gonna be like a 13-6 kind of game. I don't know why. I just think it's gonna be one of those slugfests. It doesn't go anywhere. But
13-6 is Eagles win, Giants cover as well.
yeah, but I think it's gonna be a low scoring kind of game.
Okay.
And then probably the easiest pick of the whole weekend: Cowboys Niners.
This is a tough one, boys. Come on. Come on.
I think the same. I think the recipe is the same as Drew said. If Dak doesn't turn over the ball, they will probably win.
Yeah,
That's-
but this is a different defense than they faced this past week.
This is the
Yeah.
best defense.
Nick
Although
Bosa, Fred Warner, like
they
these guys are good.
Gino hung 17 on them in the first half. I'm just saying. They didn't look great last game. I will say that.
Not concerned.
Yeah.
I agree with you that they are like the best defense, but they didn't look
DK's
great.
really good though. That was all DK Metcalf.
Like what a monster. Like what a monster. Like
he looks like Calvin Johnson. That's what he looks like.
Yes.
They said
Yeah.
he would be fourth on the USA 100 meters dash.
And he's
Fourth.
huge.
And he's
And he's
like,
massive.
massive. So like, can you imagine?
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Niners.
What's the spread?
I think they blow them out.
Ooh.
I think
Okay.
the Niners go up early. Dak starts throwing the ball all over the place, gets into trouble,
In
and
the
it turns
stands,
into a blow.
probably, sidelines.
Yeah.
Part of the wrong team.
They get away from the running game and start chucking up interceptions.
Maybe me and Coach should put a little friendly wager on this game. We have to wear. You have a 49ers hat, eh?
Yep.
Okay, if whoever wins has to wear the other team's hat for the week, including the next game.
But for the week, like I don't wear hats to work, so
To whenever you go out,
He doesn't
All
go
right.
out.
God.
Have to get Popeyes.
when you go to church. All right.
Oh, I can't wear hats at church. Come on now.
Come on, we're a church in the city. We're chill. Okay.
But we'll flip the hats. That's fine. I have no
okay,
concern.
your
I have no concerns there whatsoever.
your final call of the game.
Niners by 2 touchdowns.
All right. Well, hold on, guys. I just got to take a little sip here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's some
There's
good
nothing in
stuff.
there.
Some good stuff right there. Oh
That's
yeah.
like the water
We
bottle
got
from
the-
Space Jam.
it's,
That Bugs Bunny goes MJ special
we got,
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got some good stuff. This is Jerry's special stuff, okay? And we got the Cowboys winning
What,
by
it's 90
7
years old?
this Sunday, right during the start of evening church at Church in the City. So this is very exciting for me. We'll have to figure that one out. So
Why don't we flip to the game you have ready for us? Can we do that?
yeah, sure. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Got a little fun game for you boys. It's a pretty simple game. Here we go. I'm gonna put up our little. I have a special slide for you guys. You guys can't see it. You'll see it after. It's a counter, and basically, I got one player. We're gonna do this as an NFL edition. I got one player chosen, and you guys are working together this time. You have 20 questions to try to figure out the player I have in mind. Okay, you guys ready?
What kind of questions can we ask?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Drew,
Okay.
you can go first.
Okay. Are you ready? Like,
Yeah, you guys go for it. Let's go.
Oh,
and it's NFL players?
It's
Or-
one NFL player from
Okay.
that played this season. That's the only hint I'll give you.
Okay.
okay.
Does he play offense?
Yes.
Is he in the NFC?
Yes. That's my counter going up.
NFC North?
The NFC. Hold on for it. I just want to make sure. Let me make sure. Hold on.
I feel
You
like
don't
these
know it.
Yes.
You don't.
I wanted to make sure.
are
You're at 3.
north.
The Packers, Vikings, Bears,
Yeah.
Lions.
He plays offense.
Yes.
Is it a skill position player?
Yes.
Do you play for the Packers?
Yes.
Is it skill position player? Is it Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Aaron Jones.
7 questions, and you guys got that so fast. Are you kidding me? Okay, maybe that was too easy. Maybe that was too easy. I did have one all-time player. I just didn't know if that was going to be too hard or not. You guys want to try that since that went so fast?
All-time player.
It's an all-time player.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So all-time NFL. Let me just reset my.
We have to
little
start the
beaker here.
questions the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on.
Well, my original first question is going to be: is this player currently active?
But
So
he
you-
already said. Yeah, he
you
already
said
answered
that
it.
yeah. So
Okay, here you go. Hold on. Okay. You guys are ready to go.
Does he play offense?
Yes.
is he part of the NFC?
Yes.
NFC West?
Correct. Yes.
Is he a skill position player?
Yes.
Jerry Rice.
No.
Ooh.
Close though. Oops.
NFC West. Does he play for the 49ers?
Yes. Oops, I gave
Joe
you 2 there.
Montana.
Joe Montana is correct. You guys,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Are you serious? You
I thought it
guys.
was going to be Jerry Rice too. I was like, oh, he nailed it.
I thought Jerry Rice before we even started.
Dude, I'm
Because I thought he was going my favorite team, then your favorite team.
Okay, I'm actually impressed. Well done, boys. Well done. Well
Teamwork
done.
makes teamwork.
Maybe we'll do some later on in the pods as we go on. So
Absolutely.
well done. Okay, from now on, I'm gonna make it like extremely difficult. So
You could have made it as obscure as possible.
I should have. I
With
honestly,
20 questions, like
it's true. Well, I heard
we get to what team it is within 3 or 4 questions.
That's true. I did see some people do this on an Instagram reel, and they took 20 questions to get to their players. So, we'll see what we have to do. Okay.
I've seen people do that with like just athletes. Like, so you have to figure out the sport, team.
That's tough
Yeah.
too. That's tough too. Talking about teamwork, here at Train to Invest, we are invested and engaged with making sure you get to where you want to be in terms of your retirement, in terms of your goals for the future, and we will partner with you to help you get there. We offer a course online where we teach you how to invest in the stock market, how to trade, and cut out the middleman and cut out the broker, so that you maximize your profits alongside a course, you will have somebody walk beside you, get you ready to trade so that you can be successful on your own. Visit our website at www.train2invest.com. Download our free ebook. Reach out to us. We'll gladly answer any questions and all questions that you have. Again, it's www.train2invest.com. So good first segment here, boys. Second segment here, a little more thoughtful and a little more. I'm not sure why I thought about this, but it kind of was spurred by the whole Tom Brady debacle that was the Bucks this year. A lot of athletes, and we've seen this all the time, and a lot of professionals, they don't have this ability to transition smoothly into the next phase of their career. How many times have you seen an athlete stay on and play too late into their career, but they should have cut it 1 or 2 years before? And I think one of the issues that athletes have, and people in general, is finding your purpose. And I'll give an example from my life, as I tend to do with these kind of things. And by no means am I any sort of famous athlete or anything like that. We understand that. But I had wrapped my identity so much so in basketball that when I graduated high school, and I stopped playing, I really didn't know who I was without basketball. Right? I was the kid. I played provincial team basketball, went to graduating all star, all these kind of things, and then everybody's like, "Oh, you're too short to play for us. See you later." Granted, I probably also wasn't the most committed at that point, knowing that I wasn't going to the NBA at being 5'11" brown guy. Uh, but it was difficult to find my purpose because yes, I was a Christian, and definitely my walk wasn't very strong at that point. But I knew I was a Christian, but I identified myself as this basketball player, and now that was gone, and I didn't know what to do. So, uh, my first year at university was a lot of aimlessness and just going places for the sake of going places. So, what do you guys see this the same way? Do you have any suggestions about how, if somebody is struggling to find their purpose, what can they do from a biblical standpoint, at least, to find value in their life and to bring value?
Well, for me, it's probably pretty similar to you, Joel. And the problem is when I graduated high school, I probably influenced Drew the wrong way a little bit. And his guys, his age, they're 2 years younger than me. And I was also, we'll call it aimless. Mostly, I don't remember a lot of it. So um, I think a lot of people struggle with that. I think that's something we put so much into, we put our whole lives into, and we don't really look past where we're trying to go. And most people don't make the league, right? Most
Yeah.
people don't make it far, and even after college, right? Drew actually was played college level, and even there and after college, I think a lot of people experience the same things. It's definitely. I'll pass it to Drew for now, but it definitely is a challenge finding your identity, right?
Yeah, I think we all have similar stories, and I rooted my identity in, you know, being good at whatever I tried, and um, the sport that gave me the most doors open was baseball, and provincial team for Manitoba. Go down to the States to play baseball, and all of a sudden I'm just a guy. Like, I'm not the fastest guy. I'm not the best defensively like I was in Canada, and all of a sudden my identity is shattered, right? Because my identity was I'm the best. I'm the best baseball player. And so yeah, it and again, after I only spent a year at college because I couldn't handle not being the best. And and that's been my tendency my whole life. If I'm not the best at something, if I'm not great at something, I'll just quit because my identity wants to be the best at whatever I do. And yeah, and eventually I came face to face with reality, like that's not who I am supposed to be. That's not what you're supposed to strive for. Your identity needs to be found in who God sees you as, and who you're created to be. Um, and that's a child of God, and and finding your identity in Jesus is the only way to have fulfillment in life. Like, that's the struggle of the world right now, is everyone's looking for something to fulfill a void that only Jesus can fill. And yeah, and choosing a profession that, honestly, I don't know about you, Dan, but like, this is not a skill set that I had growing up. Like, standing up in front of people and preaching, it's probably the last thing anyone, especially me, expected. I was a shy kid, uh, didn't want to talk in front of people. Like, yeah, I just my mode of speaking to people was performing in sports and stuff, and I didn't want to talk about it. But yeah, this is the way that my profession went, and I had to work at it. There were times within the first couple of years I wanted to quit because I wasn't good at it, and I would stumble over words, and I still do that. But having my identity in Jesus knows that that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I stumble or whatever, I'm doing what God has called me to do, and that's where I find my purpose.
And knowing, adding on to that, knowing to take away my selfish ambitions. That's what I was striving for. Is everything I did was for self, to put myself in the better place, and myself better financially, myself in better status, and being better well known. When I decided to change that from self to serving God and putting Him number one, and sharing, and leading everyone else that I can to Him, that's when you see that kind of transformational change within my heart. And I went from being such an angry guy to trying to get in fights, and hating the world, to being a guy that is okay and actually will cry at a movie, and have sensitivity, and compassion, and actually cares about others. And it's pretty funny. I don't know if I've shared this here or not before, but at CITC, we have one of our friends from Winnipeg here, and his younger sister grew up with me, and I was in my grade and everything like that, and now she moved to Toronto as well, and she came down and visited CITC, and she couldn't believe the change that happened within my life, from where I was to now, and that's all because of that transformational change within my heart, because of the cross. So
You both mentioned making a decision to change. So it's one thing to make the decision. What did you guys do to help facilitate that change? Like, did you read your Bible more? Did you pray more? Like, what were some of the proactive things you guys did as you decided, okay, I want to do this. I feel like God's calling me to this. Um, I'm finding my purpose in this. What are some of the things you guys can share that can help people, they start doing these kind of things to help solidify that change?
I think it's surrounding yourself with people who are going the same direction you want to go.
Hmm.
I think when I look at the way I was when I was going down the wrong path, I was hanging out with people that were going down the wrong path. Like, I think we all have a tendency to follow, want to fit in, do what others are doing. So if you proactively find people that are, walking with Jesus, you want to walk with, and having people that will like spur you on, and call you out, and surrounding yourself with good friends. Like, your life will move in the direction of your closest friends, I believe. And not to say that you don't, have friends that aren't believers, or witnessing to other people, but having a core group of friends that you can really lean on, I think is super important.
And yeah, exactly, that's the foundation of when you're able to actually go and hang out with people that aren't following God, and on the right path, and actually be a difference maker for them, and actually share that love of Christ to them, in a healthy way, because your foundation is rooted, and that you have that accountability group, that friend group. And that's why we like to encourage small groups and life groups at CITC, and we try to get people to do life together, because how else are we going to grow, right?
Absolutely. And I'll give a different perspective because I'm not a pastor, obviously. Um, Many people will put their identity in their jobs, right? Like, I work for a logistics company. Do I bleed that company's colors? No, that's not my identity. It may have been in my, previous jobs may have been my identity where I sunk all my time in and tried to be the best that I could. Um, but that didn't lead to the fulfillment I was looking for. It just led to a lot of resentment, anger, and um, what's the when oh covetousness of other people, right? Because I saw people spending time with their families, being happy, etc., right? And even even though you both are pastors, you're mentioning things that are what everybody can do and should do, like surrounding yourself with good, solid friends. That's not just a pastor thing. That you should be doing that regardless. You know, pushing yourself to read your Bible, pray, do all those kind of things. Isn't just specific to you guys. It's for everybody else. And so when it comes to like, and I mean, I'll be honest, last couple of years I've been trying to find my purpose, and you know, coming to Toronto was a big challenge, but it was definitely, following God's steps. Um, I know probably put it into existence a little bit there. So being open to hearing what God has to say, and I think taking that step of faith and saying, like you said, I'm going to cut off certain friends. That's not an easy thing to do, right? It's not easy saying, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I got to give us some space. Like that's a hard conversation to have. Some people get it, some people won't. But it's taking that step, saying, I'm doing this because this is what I think God wants me to do, will help you come around and obviously make some better choices and provide value not only for yourself but towards other people as well. Because I think, I mean, I don't know about my life right now, but I know for sure you guys are probably being more impactful following what God wants you to do than if you were just to do whatever you wanted, right? So you don't really know what path you're going to go down your life, but if you're following God's steps, you'll find that weird doors open up, and you could be like, for example, the firefighter ministry that you're part of, Daniel. Like I don't think you ever saw that coming through.
No, definitely not.
And that's a whole new, I call it a market, but a whole new group of people that you get to influence in, right? And Drew, like we're, the different places you're volunteering with and the people you get to meet through your kids, like that's a different group of people that you get to minister to just by showing them who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, and even, I got a golf membership here in
Mhm.
town, and like sometimes I'll play during the week, and when you see a young guy playing on a Monday morning, the first question is, "Oh, what do you do that you get to play golf on a Monday morning?" Right? And it opens the door, and I get 4 hours to, a lot of them have questions about what I do. But something I was going to say about people in ministry like Dana, it's important to uh, make sure you're still finding purpose in what you're doing,
Yes.
because it's easy for ministry to become more of a job than a calling. And I found that out in the first couple of years of ministry. I'm like, oh, I'm a pastor. I'm doing God's work, and every once in a while I'd check myself, and it's like, am I loving people because that's my job, or am I loving people out of the goodness of what God has done in my life? And I think it's very important to, you know, stay focused on whatever your job is, finding God's purpose for your life in what you're doing, rather than even Christianity as a whole. It can feel like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do, this is what we have to do, rather than this is what we get to do because of
Mm.
what Jesus has done for us.
I love it. I love it. I think one of these pods we got to get even Drew to share a little bit of his story, and then the next one I'll share a little bit of mine, and Joel, you can even share a little bit more of yours because it's that's good. It's really good what you shared. So
I think that's gonna wrap it up for our pod today, guys. Great discussion as always.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think that
Really,
was really
really,
good.
really enjoying our new format here. And yeah, make sure you like the video, subscribe to all our socials, share it with your friends. It's not just about sports. It's also a ministry play opportunity as well.
The
Engage with us and help get the numbers up.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thanks for everyone who commented on the Instagram there, or
Yes,
and
that
or
was
the
awesome.
TikTok. Yeah, we have a TikTok, and the same thing was on the Instagram. Thanks for commenting. We'll have it up this week. The records. I'm gonna post everyone's record, and we'll do a vote for the divisional round.
Yeah,
I just wanted to share one more thing for the least important part of the show. I know I put it like the last thing. What was the guy, Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless?
yeah.
The last portion of his tweet didn't get read, and everyone jumped on his neck, and he said it's the least port. The whole tweet was basically he was saying is garbage, right? It doesn't matter, right? It's
Yeah,
about
it all
Damar
seems
Hamlin.
insignificant now.
So now I got something insignificant that I wanted to share with you guys, and make sure I just want everyone to know that it's insignificant compared to the last couple things we showed. I just have to show you guys off a couple
Moment of
things
silence
here.
for the champions, for those who
You
make
know,
going hard
this,
a lifestyle.
beautiful
Never wait for nothing, gotta get
trophy
it right
here
now.
as
I'm
I
in the
became number
spotlight
one
when they turn the
in
lights
fantasy
down.
football.
Only a champ's
Right
win the
here,
hardest in the
boys.
12th
Just like
round.
that.
I love the
The
fourth
champion.
quarter, I love the ninth inning, I love game 7. Bring on the competition, cause in my heart can't nobody do it better. Can't slow me down, won't stop me never.
Is Joel's name on there too, or no?
He's got his own. He's got his
Yeah,
own.
like,
Oh, we
showed-
all get our own trophy.
Yeah. He
I
showed
mean,
it. He
you're
showed
never
it.
gonna get it, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
like you have to get out of the consolation bracket to get there, but maybe this
Yeah,
year.
I don't know anything about it.
Boys, we'll be back next week. Thanks for
Back.
all you do. Peace out, world.
Peace.